let's see here. We're about 2 minutes out from 9 o'clock in the morning. We're going to take a little break here. I'm going to bring in Mr. Don Watson, and after 9 we'll try to get a commercial in or so, and then we'll talk about the State Road Bridge as one of the many covered bridges in our county covered by the Watson family. So stay tuned. We'll talk with Don in just a few minutes. Okay, welcome back to Sunrise Live. It's Thursday, September 29th. One more day and September is going to be kaput. Saturday starts October the 1st, a new month here. We're on the Sunrise Live program brought to you every morning by Great Wave Communications, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 6 and 19. And if you're just flipping the channel and found us after 9 o'clock, welcome to the show. I've got a guest here with me this morning, at least for my show. It's a new guest here. I think Don's been on, maybe a while back when Pat Williams was on the show. But kind of a new guest to Sunrise Live, Don Watson from the area here. And I met up with Don, just so you know, some of the connections I have with people that I have on the show come from various sources, phone calls. I know them personally. Well, I met Don. I knew of his name, but had never met him really till recently. I've been going to a couple of the Conneaut cable access board meetings. I was invited to come on from Great Wave, and I said I could give this a try, sure. So I met up with Don there, and a few of the other people that are on the board I'm starting to know a little better. And then I found out, whether he told me or somebody else told me, that his family has been covering, we'll just say, the State Road Bridge, at least for now, here in Conneaut during the covered bridge festivals. And I thought, well, that's neat, because I know I've seen pictures, and you guys have always done up the bridge beautifully and done it well, and it's kind of in your family. I want to talk to you a little bit. I thought it would be interesting to find out about the history of State Road Bridge and why your family does it. So Don, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Or back to the show, actually. Let's see, AM Live, North Coast Mornings, now it's Sunrise Live. So we've been through 3 iterations here. Tell me, Don, what's the family history about working on the State Road Bridge? How did you all, or you, get involved with that, and what's the story behind it?
It's been long enough ago that I have a little difficulty remembering how it all began.
Oh boy, here we go.
So I did ask for a little bit of help.
Sure.
My wife reminded us that we started in, it would have been 1992.
Okay.
At the Root Road Bridge. It was a church Sunday school fundraising event. And
during the festival that year at that time? Okay, all right.
We covered Root Road. Then the following year, State Road became available. In fact, I guess that in 92 when they did Root Road, State Road was not supposed to be available, but someone who was supposed to cover it didn't show up.
Really?
And
those things probably happen here and there, so...
And it was the early history of the festival, so that probably was even more likely to happen.
Okay.
So then we were able able to, we had asked for and got permission to be hosts then of State Road. And that was in...
that was 93?
93. So.
Now, who at that time in the family would have been involved in doing this? Who are you talking about in the Watson family or whatever would have been doing this?
Mostly immediate family is John Watson Sr. is my dad.
Okay.
And my mom Lois, and then brothers, to some extent, some of the brothers.
Yeah.
I think my sister was around.
Do you all, the family live still near in the kind of area, or some moved away, or?
Some have moved away.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're still here, obviously.
Yeah.
And doing well. So you picked up the family, and in that year of 93, State Road Bridge is now yours. Well, first of all, before you guys did even that fundraiser at the Road Church fundraiser kind of thing, were you all active in going to see that? I think it started in the 80s. I had on Ginger Whitehead Monday, and I think the Bridge Festival started in the 80s somewhere, maybe. Am I right about that? You might give history on that.
Yeah.
Did you go to some of the early ones before you even got involved in doing a bridge, or no?
I don't know that I did. I do know that somewhere along the line I made it to the fairgrounds.
Okay.
But whether
for the festival?
Yeah,
okay.
For the festival, but I don't know if I snuck away. I know one year I did somehow get permission to go out, and there's a flyer that goes to all the bridges that's put out by the Gazette Publishing.
Right.
And somehow it didn't get printed in time to be given out with souvenirs and everything, so I volunteered and I made a run to all the bridges on that Saturday morning.
So you have been to, you can say, all the bridges, at least that year, you went to all of them that were around.
Yeah.
And was that, let's see, now there's 19, I think, total?
This year they'll be
Holy
dedicating.
mackerel. I've never made the full run of all 19. A couple years ago, our family did the drive, and I think it was on the weekend of the festivals, because we knew some folks were going to be at a couple bridges that we would know. And it might have been there's like an eastern-western kind of a route, right? And the eastern has more than the western, I think. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, it's more, I think they call it north and south.
Oh, north and south, I'm sorry. But I knew we went to the one that had the more bridges in it, and we couldn't make both the same day. And it was kind of a fun, neat trip to just get a look at these things. I mean, we're known for this in our area all over the place. Okay, so we're back at 93 is where you started State Road. Do you remember, do you have memories, or I see you brought something with you. If you want to talk a little about that, that's fine. Do you remember what the family did first year 93 back with the bridge? No memory of that? Because you've got some beautiful stuff going on lately in recent years. What kind of history might you want to bring about State Road Covered Bridge that you brought with you?
Well, the history that I have is the actual construction of the bridge.
Okay, if you want to talk about that, sure.
And part of it, they do the history. We do give out a sheet. It's available for anybody that wants it. They can see some of the history of the bridge. If
okay.
A lot of people are in a hurry, they want to just grab something and go. So we have just a printed sheet that was from a booklet that the Covered Bridge Festival had put out many years ago. And one of the things it says is that it replaced a steel bridge. And for whatever it's worth, I rode through that steel bridge when I went to school. We went through it in the bus.
Oh, so you remember doing that? Wow. So you went through the steel bridge, and this was done to replace. What kind of year time are we talking about here when this was turned over to this kind of a wooden covered bridge? Does it have the years in there?
Yeah, 1983 was when it was dedicated.
Okay.
It said it was moved, 83. 83 was when
so
it was
this is 33rd year of the new wooden. New, I say, but 33 years since dedication there at the State Road Bridge.
And it's made it a little bit significant, like 25 years we were there. I don't know, the years correspond somewhat to when we
oh, neat. Okay.
And it was
oh, yeah, absolutely. In 93 you started, so 10 years later. And is this bridge something you chose? You said it was open or somebody didn't cover that one year. Is it nearby where you all are, or is it just the bridge you took that year and you've been with it ever since?
It's close by to where we live, where we grew up.
Neat. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to come back with a little bit more history on State Road Bridge. And after the break, now I'm going to let you in a little secret, not right now, but when we come back from break, if you were watching, Don brought with him, and I didn't know he was going to do this, so you're a little surprised. I have got boy, look at this, got all sorts of history, a State Road Covered Bridge coffee mug with all sorts of picture and information on the back. That's really neat. A State Road Covered Bridge cap. And what do we got? A bright yellow and orange State Road Covered Bridge. This is an apron, did you say?
Yeah.
Right there, with all covering the State Road Covered Bridge. He brought those in and said we could give these away today on the show. So after we come back from a break, we're going to figure out a way to take some callers and give away. The winner will get the cap, the apron, and the State Road coffee mug. That's kind of a neat little collection. Thank you for bringing it in. But we're going to take a break first, try to get a commercial in. We'll be back with Don Watson and our giveaway in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back on this Thursday morning, 29th of September, to Sunrise Live. We're here with Don Watson. He and his family have been taking care of, decorating, presenting, hosting, I guess is a good word, the State Road Bridge here in Conneaut since 1993. You're on your 23rd year as a family doing this year, and you're carrying on the tradition. We've wanted to get Mom on the show, so if you're watching, hi Mom, but sorry you couldn't make it with us today. We'd love to have you sometime, but the family gets involved, and we're going to talk a little about your decorations, but I wanted to do this after we took a break. Don brought in a nice State Road Bridge coffee mug, State Road Bridge cap, and this is a nice bright yellow and orange apron with the State Road Covered Bridge logo and picture on it right there. We're going to give that away right now on the show. So here's what you got to do. My number is 593-7181. We're going to take the fifth caller. If we can get 5 people to call in, we're going to give it to caller number 5. If I have to get desperate, we'll give it away, but I'm looking for the 5th caller, 593-7181, a nice State Road Bridge coffee mug, cap, and apron, all with the logos from State Road. Well, there's a call for us right there. Good morning, you're caller number 1. Try again. Well, I got 1 call down. Help me get to number 5. We're looking for the 5th caller, 593-7181. And I don't mind if the same person hangs up and tries again. If they get to be number 5, they're going to be the winner. So that works for me as well. While we're waiting on calls, 593-7181 for our triple giveaway here for the State Road Bridge. Tell me a little, oh, I see call. Well, good morning. You are caller number 2. Try again. Don, what does your family do to spruce up or host when you're hosting on the weekend of the covered bridge? Well, we got a caller. Good morning, you're caller number 3. Try again. Again, we're giving away the coffee mug, hat, and a nice apron here. We need 2 more callers to get to caller number 5, and you get the, here's number 4. All right, you're caller number 4. Give it another try. Next caller is going to be the winner, 593-7181. Well, might as well wait. We're going to catch this now. It's got to be a 5th caller. Come on, bingo, go. 593-7181, and I can't will it to happen all of a sudden. As soon as I ask you a question, it's going to start up. So, Don, when you and your family host State Road Covered Bridge for the festival, and when I tell you, here we go, we'll get back to you. Good morning, welcome, congratulations, you're caller number 5.
Thank you.
You have what, Sue McKenna? Sis McKenna, that's right. I remember you calling from all the old days of calling in. I've got you down. You're going to get a nice coffee mug from State Road, the ball cap, and the apron right here with the picture on it.
Thank you.
You were the 5th caller. Congratulations. Don brought these things in for us today. I'm going to have them over at the phone company. Let's say they should be ready for you anytime after 11 o'clock for pickup, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. So Sis McKenna was our 5th caller and winner. So she's going to take home those items today. That's great. And again, thank you for bringing those in. Now, the thing I'm going to ask you, we were trying to get to here before the rude callers interrupted us here and won the prizes. What do you do when you're preparing for, and it's been 23 years that you've been involved, and the family's been involved, when you're preparing for this, what kind of preparations go into getting ready for the weekend? Is the 8th and the 9th, but I'm sure you're not getting up Saturday morning at 8:30 and saying, well, let's get ready for the bridge today. I mean, what goes into this, and what do you guys, let's talk about your bridge specifically that you're hosting. What does the Watson family like to do to get it ready for visitors?
The situation at our bridge is it's kind of split between those that are doing the food part of things. Okay. And the decoration part.
Now, when you say food part of things, talk to me about, there's food available at some of these bridges? Like yes. What do you have available? Let's talk about what you do.
We have mostly, has started out anyways as baked goods.
Okay.
A big sale. It includes all kinds of cookies, pies, cupcakes. It has evolved some into, we've had hot dogs. Just about every bridge has had hot dogs.
Okay.
So we kind of, I think we've gotten away from hot dogs. And we wanted to simplify things a little bit. So we kind of kept with the baked goods. 2 years ago, we had a real nice addition. My sister did move away to North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And she and her husband came 2 years ago and they made Brunswick stew.
What's that all about?
Brunswick stew, I probably should have asked for more of a description, but
How would you describe it?
as it's presented in a big kettle, in a big pot, in a cast iron pot,
Okay.
over a flame, and they.
Now wait, you guys have a kettle and flame outside somewhere near the bridge?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're cooking this in a big pot, and what might be in this stew or mixture?
For the most part, there was an awful lot of chicken in it.
Okay, chicken?
I believe there was ground beef, and some of this, you should ask the chef when he comes.
Sure, visit this bridge.
Yeah.
Are you going to have that pot and stew this year?
They said they were coming back.
Wow.
If anyone plans on coming back and sampling this Brunswick stew, they need to come early.
It
goes, and there'll be, it's like a one pot deal.
Now, do you do a pot a day, or once the one pot's done, if it's done on Saturday, it's done, or do you have one each day?
Yeah, just the one.
So the one pot's made, and when it goes,
that's it.
so if you want Brunswick stew, State Road Bridge, you got to get to it early.
And it's everything, all the food, mostly because of health department regulations.
Okay.
Is by donation.
It's not like a set price that you can set. Okay.
We don't set a price, and we're not allowed to even suggest a price.
Okay.
So we just, everything, and people will ask, and they say, well, how much do you think we should get? We can't say, we can't.
Whatever's in your heart to give. But I understand what you're saying. So the baked goods, again, dumb question, but I just want to say, are these baked by your family or other people you know? Are they freshly baked goods kind of a thing?
They are freshly baked.
Okay.
There may occasionally, because there are so many people who bring things, there may occasionally be some store-bought.
But it's a lot of home stuff, though.
Majority of it is home stuff, and someone asked if we made it up in advance, and as far as I know, it's all fresh that week, or my wife, I know, will start baking, and if we run out, which we almost always do, or start running low on Saturday, she'll make something Saturday night to bring on Sunday.
Bring for the next, because it is the 2-day event. You host the bridge you're like there from the 9 to 5-ish hours each day. Isn't that how that works? Yes. When the host hosts the bridge? Food available. Well, let me ask you this. We're talking State Road Bridge because that's the one your family covers. Do most people, that's not a good question. People that come through the bridge where you're hosting, mostly drive-throughs, or does most people stop and take a look around as they're coming through the bridge? What do you run into a lot out there?
I would have to guess that the majority stop.
Do they?
Unless you ask me about Sunday evening.
Okay.
then not only do they not stop, they don't usually even slow down.
They just through the bridge because they're maybe trying to hit every bridge or something. Well, let me ask you this. In your bridge area, is it, some of them probably have more space than others. Everyone's different, I'm sure. How is the stopping and parking at the State Road Bridge? Is it easy? Does it get congested sometimes?
It gets congested at times. The last 2 years or so we've been blessed in that some of the larger groups that used to come by haven't come, and so it's just been a more steady flow.
Okay.
Which has helped a lot.
Maybe somebody parks, spends 5 to 10 minutes, moves along kind of a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I never thought, it just occurred to my mind, do they have running, and have you seen in your 23 years, do tour buses go out on that Saturday and Sunday bringing people through?
We haven't
never thought of that before.
We haven't had as many tour buses lately as we used to, and I believe a lot of activity goes on the week before and the week after.
Okay.
One recollection of a tour bus coming through, I believe our bridge is big enough and rated.
Well, I just almost thought, can they get through the bridges?
Well, probably not all of them.
Okay.
But I believe that the State Road Bridge is rated so that they could, and I think they have driven through with a full-size tour bus.
What do you think your height, does that mean it's like over 13 feet high or something like that, or what would it be on the entrances?
14 foot 6 inches high and 17.6 wide.
You'd be close on a modern tour bus coming through that, but I think most of the ones like where you're looking at trucks driving through, they have to be 13, so you're a little over 14 foot up in the air on the entrances. But not as many, but tour buses do come through on these weekends. Okay, I wondered if that was a popular thing. In the 23 years, is it kind of steady customers, or is it declined or increased, or how have the years gone just amount of people visiting wise? Is it still a popular event, I guess is what I'm asking?
Yeah. And again, something has happened the last 2 or 3 years that it has gone from the big rush of people that would come. There's groups, there's car groups, anti-car groups, motorcycle groups, classic cars, specialty cars. There's even bicycle riders that have made trips through.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Some of the local folks ride, and will stop and,
you might like take a break at your bridge or something.
We kind of expect them to stop through. Some of the bigger groups have not come, and I've heard that they come usually, again, a week before, a week after when it's not as congested.
Yeah.
Though I've seen pictures of the festival, and I know that they go to like the Small and Gulf Bridge where there's more access, more places to get off the road.
Okay. And I was talking to Ginger Monday, and again, just for you folks, and I'll be announcing things next week as we get closer to the festival. She left me with a whole schedule of events. But for last year and this year, they're not at the fairgrounds anymore. The main Jefferson event for the 2 days, they're up in the middle of the main streets right there in Jefferson now, I guess is what she was telling me. So some people might like to do the bridge tours and visit the event in Jefferson. Just remember that it's not at the fair. She said if you go out to the fairgrounds, you won't find us there anymore. They're up in the main Ashtabula Street or something up there in one of the main drags right in downtown Jefferson. So that's where, if you want to go to that portion during the weekend, they're open as well. Let me ask you this. So there's food available at your bridge. Is that a one lane, like, can you come into it from both directions?
Yes.
Is it a 1 or 2 car bridge?
You can get 2 through there.
Tight?
It's tight. We had a little bit.
Any issues ever in the 23 years?
There has
Yeah, what do you remember?
Well, there was an issue that someone stopped. Usually they'll stop at one end or the other if they question it themselves.
Yeah.
In this instance, car stopped at one end, but inside of the bridge.
The front end was kind of in the bridge.
They had already made the approach. And just about every bridge, at the end of the bridge, the road winds around somewhere, so it makes it hard to see.
Yeah.
And so they stopped. They saw someone approaching the other way. The vehicle from the other way was a mid-sized truck with a trailer behind it.
Okay.
And they couldn't back up or didn't choose to back up because they had already made the turn from the bend. And so they came through, and when they left, they were fine. If they would have stayed going in a straight line as they exited, but they didn't exit in a straight line. And the trailer followed the turn and took part of the car with it.
So you actually had to have what, the trooper or somebody come out for an accident call kind of a thing that day?
I'm not sure
how long ago was that?
I'm not sure. It's
been a few years?
Yeah.
Oh, brother, so be careful when you're driving through these bridges. I mean, you're there every year, you probably see all kinds of things, but that I wondered if you got a 2-car one, 2 smart cars, yeah, no problem. Little tiny guys, 2 bicycles, not a problem, but boy, you get a truck and a trailer and another car halfway in the bridge. So it took a little bit of the car with it, huh?
Yeah, I don't know how bad it was, but it was not a good situation. The other thing, you have pedestrians on the bridge. So
that's true.
Even though it's 2 cars, you usually have people on both sides that are looking the bridge over, or looking out through the bridge portals or whatever.
Well, we've kind of determined, I think we have been asking folks on our little slides that we show in between parts of the show here, as you now know I've been doing since last week. There's one shot that looks like it's framed from inside the bridge looking at the and I'm thinking you just looked at it and thought that's State Road Bridge probably looking out of there when Andy took some of that video. So I think we've solved our mystery. It's your bridge, Mr. Watson, the State Road Bridge. Very popular, nice looking bridge. Besides food that's available, and would you say, again, you might not know everybody that's involved in the 19 bridges, but the ones that are hosted and have people there, Do all of them usually have food available, or just some, or most seem to do that?
Most of them do, because the situation for most of the hosts is they are raising money for an organization of some kind.
So, okay, I got you. Yeah, fundraiser of some type.
Yeah, so they,
Do you mind saying what yours is for, or no? Do you know, is it out there?
we've changed, yes.
Okay.
It will be in the publication that's coming out during the festival.
Oh, okay.
It's the National Breast Cancer Foundation is our benefactor this year.
Okay.
Past,
Did you change them up over the years?
we have,
So
yes.
can you think of any that come to mind you might have supported before?
We had the Cancer Center of Erie was one for 3 years, and we chose that. We did have a distant, I don't know, relationship-wise, but someone
Yeah.
involved in the festival had cancer and passed away.
Okay.
And she had received treatment from the Cancer Center of Erie, and so we had them as one of our benefactors
Sure.
for about 3 years. We've had the Salvation Army, I think Ashtabula was, then I was informed that there is a Kanya Salvation
Branch,
Army
okay.
branch, and, but we haven't gone back to that yet. We did the Jefferson Christian radio station, WCBJ.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about there, yep.
We did that 1 year. So it's been things like that. And I
And
guess,
this year again is the breast cancer you're saying is what you're going to be supporting for this year.
yes.
Fantastic, that's great. And most of the people, the food sales, that's what they're doing as well for whatever the organization is. I even know, aren't there some even Boy Scout or Cub Scout troops that take over a couple of the bridges
Yes.
in the session? I think I used to know a kid, when we went on our tour, I think one of the reasons we did it was one of the younger kids I knew was in the Scouts, and they were I forget which bridge, but near Jefferson area, because that's where they lived. So whatever the bridges are out there, I know we made sure we stopped to see it. But that's even a nice little thing you can do. And people can either, do you accept, I'm just asking in general, they can buy your goods, of course, if they want to give a donation, or can they just, if they like your cause, can they just, their donation jug, they can
Yes.
just donate to the cause as well?
Yes.
So you can do that on your bridge tour. Well, I don't want to miss anything with you here today. I mean, we got the great apron, cap, and cup giveaway from State Road Bridge. You want to make sure you see the Watson family out there next weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the State Road Bridge. Oh, I know what I was going to ask you before we go. The food's available, and what kind of, how do you, your family, how do you all like to, or what's this year's, if you want to give away a little secret, your decoration theme for this year? What do you put out to look at with the bridge?
This year our decorations will be, for the most part, what we had last year, which
Okay.
was, I made a miniature buckboard wagon.
Okay.
And we fill that then with some of the decorations that used to be on the ground. A lot of the pictures that are out of the festival decorations from the State Road were the ones where we laid out straw bales on the ground.
Okay, I think that's one of the pictures I've seen as well, yeah.
I guess it's
Like the one on the apron, there's one, and you can't see it as well, but the person, yeah, there's a nice, you can see the bales and then all sorts of fall, different things. So you made a buckboard for this year.
Yeah,
About
and
how big are you talking there?
it's small enough to fit in a utility
Okay.
trailer.
All right.
So it's about 8 feet long, a little bit shorter than 8 feet, and about 4 feet.
And everything that's the decoration will stay on the buckboard, or do you pull any of it off and around the board as well?
Some of it I have to pull off
Okay.
because of height
Oh,
situation.
sure, okay.
But it's real nice. As much as I like to decorate, it got to be a bit of a hassle, especially when it rains.
Yeah,
If it's 5 o'clock and you have hay bales or straw bales out and it starts to rain and you need to get everything picked up into the trailer and covered and ready to go, and you're in a hurry, it was time consuming. And we don't leave it out Saturday night. We
you
collect
pick it up and then bring it back the next day.
Yeah.
Is that just vandalism kind of things? I mean, people are people. Is that what happens if you leave things out like that? Unfortunately, but I mean, that's probably the smart move to make, and then you put it out. Well, I'll tell you what, with the rain today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you may have a great clear weekend next weekend. We're getting all sorts of rain for 5 days here in Conneaut. Don, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. And again, when you make your visits to bridges this next weekend, if you don't go to see them all, you're not going to do the whole 19 tour. Make sure you stop by right here at State Road Bridge in Conneaut and visit the Watson family. Get some of their baked goods. Donation again only. It's going for the breast cancer fund this year. Check out, do people stop and take pictures of the bridge with your little decorations in front of them as well? Do you get a lot of that too?
Yes, a lot.
All right, a lot of that.
A lot of people are.
And do you guys stand and smile in the picture, or do you get out of the way? If you want a picture with Don, will you take a picture if they ask?
Yeah.
All right, he'll grudgingly do it if they ask.
I have somebody locally could vouch for him. I have fumbly fingers.
Oh, okay.
So you may not want me to take your picture.
Oh, I was thinking of you even being in the photo with them since it's your bridge, but sometimes you want to get a steady hand to get those pictures at the State Road Bridge. So visit State Road Bridge. They're going to put a lot of work, a lot of food will be out there for you. Of course, enjoy the other bridges and the Bridge Festival in Jefferson itself. But I thank you so much for taking time. It's been great to have you on. Thank you for our gifts. Sis McKenna was our big winner today, and I will have these items for her over at the phone company after 11 o'clock this morning. We're going to take a little break here. We'll come back with more Sunrise Live to finish up our Thursday in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. We'll be back.